Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.
On today's Smart 7, Trump launches tariffs on Liberation Day, Heathrow's power struggle and much more. It's Thursday, 3rd of April, it's Independent Artist Day, and happy birthday, Eddie Murphy.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Donald Trump took to the White House lawn on Wednesday armed with a series of giant charts as he set out to create what he called one of the most important days in American history. He launched a series of tariffs, 25% on all foreign cars and a universal tariff of 10% on almost all countries sending goods into the United States. Some countries attracted much higher tariffs, including Bangladesh and Vietnam, while China got landed with a 34% tariff, which appears to be added on to the previous 20%. But intriguingly, there were no tariffs placed on Russia. The US president warned that there'll be a strong reaction to the move.
In the coming days, there will be complaints from the globalists and the outsourcers and special interests and the fake news. Fake news will always complain. But never forget, every prediction our opponents made about trade for the last 30 years has been proven totally wrong.
Some categories such as pharmaceuticals got exemptions in the current round, and the UK only attracted the minimum 10% tariff. That will be seen as a small victory for Labour and Keir Starmer, who've been working hard to build a relationship with Trump and his team. Chancellor Rachel Reeves was promising a considered response to the new tariffs.
The prize on offer is an economic agreement. We don't want to do anything that undermines that. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We are still in discussions with our counterparts in the United States, and the focus is not on posturing here.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves was back defending the autumn budget in the Commons on Wednesday as we inch closer to the increase in employers' national insurance contributions, which is due to kick in on April 6th. Reeves says it will raise £25 billion for the NHS, but as the nation struggles with awful April, the opposition was accusing her of putting more pressure on the economy. At Prime Minister's Question Time, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch was on the attack too.
The Prime Minister also promised that he would not increase taxes on working people. But even the OBR says that the jobs tax will be passed on to workers. On average, families will be £3,500 poorer.
Keir Starmer wasn't happy with Badenoch's analysis of the OBR report and was keen that she should read it through to the end of the 5-year plan.
She's so obsessed with talking down the country that she's not read the OBR forecast properly. 2077 up, 2028 up, 2029 up. And thanks to our planning reforms, the largest growth measure the OBR have ever costed.
Israel has continued to launch airstrikes on Gaza, this time focusing on the southern part of the Strip, targeting areas around Rafah and Khan Yunis and killing dozens of people. They're also continuing with ground operations, with Defence Minister Israel Katz announcing earlier in the week that Israel intends to seize large areas of Gaza. Those plans became clearer on Wednesday when PM Netanyahu announced that Israel intends to create another corridor through Gaza. This one is to be called the Morag Corridor, that could potentially split the southern cities. The pressure is intended to drive out Hamas and force the return of the Israeli hostages, but Minister for the Middle East Hamish Falconer, speaking in the Commons on Wednesday, was critical of the plan.
The UK does not support an expansion of Israel's military operations. Continued fighting and more bloodshed is in nobody's interest. All parties, including Israel, must observe international humanitarian law.
The Commons Transport Select Committee was in session on Wednesday to investigate the power cut at Heathrow that saw one of Europe's busiest airports shut down. The incident was sparked by a fire at a transformer, and Heathrow's chief executive Thomas Woldby apologised to the 200,000 passengers affected by what he called a very low probability event. He also said the airport was supposed to have a resilient power supply, but defended the decision to halt operations on safety grounds. The CEO of Heathrow Airline Operators Committee, Nigel Wicking, had a different view of events and said that Heathrow management had been warned of the risks.
This actually went back a few days because I'd actually warned Heathrow of concerns that we had with regard to the substations to Team Heathrow Director on the 15th of the month of March. And then I also spoke to their Chief Operating Officer and Chief Customer Officer 2 days before.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Merseyside Derby action and the Top Gear trio are breaking up. Right after this.
Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.
Welcome back. There was a feast of football on Wednesday night with 6 Premier League games, including a Merseyside derby. Bournemouth lost 2-1 to Ipswich, Southampton drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace, and Brighton lost 3-0 to Aston Villa. City were too good for Leicester, winning 2-0 even without Erling Haaland, and Newcastle continued their Carabao Cup celebration as they beat Brentford 2-1. In the Merseyside derby, David Moyes faced Arne Slot at Anfield, hoping to continue Everton's 9-game unbeaten run, but in the end Liverpool were simply unstoppable and won 1-0. Arne Slot was staying focused on the run to the end of the season.
And we know that we're going to face 8 very tough challenges. But as long as the players give as much as they did today, and if we play home games, the fans give us as much as they did today, we are in a very good position.
All great boy bands know that sooner or later it's time to hang up the headsets and put the bar stools back at the bar, and it seems like it's much the same for the trio of TV geniuses that brought us Top Gear and the Grand Tour. That's right, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May have officially quit their jobs and are no longer going to chase each other round the world in fast cars. May is quite happy about that. Judging from his recent appearance on Australian TV to promote a theatre tour, he sounded pleased to say goodbye to his Top Gear era, and no, they are never ever getting back together.
We have disbanded, and there isn't going to be a reunion. I was in that job longer than I've been in any other job. It's a cliche to say end of an era and all that stuff, but it was. I also think, though, it was probably time for us to stop, because we always said we would land it with dignity, not fly it into the cliffs.
We've seen more Karate Kids than we've seen Spider-Men, technically, now that we're about to get Karate Kid Legends. It all started back in the 1980s with Ralph Macchio, then with a 2010 Jaden Smith reboot, Netflix's Cobra Kai, and now the new movie version which stars Ben Wang, who learnt his craft at the fence of Jackie Chan's Mr. Han. This one sees our hero mixing disciplines as he switches from kung fu to karate, with a little help from the OG kid Ralph Macchio. It's due to hit cinemas in May.
In life, you have only one question. Is it worth fighting for it or not?
So we're just supposed to let him fight, so that he can end up like his brother.
So that he does not end up like his brother.
You've been listening to the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.